Could it be a huge development with another team in the AFC South? What about Deshaun Watson?
Carson Wentz, who over the weekend told reporters, or if he didn't tell reporters, the news was out that the Colts were going to attempt to see how long he could go on this foot injury before ruling him out, before putting together a timetable. He was going to forego surgery and try to push through and be ready for week one. That's not going to happen. According to Ian Rappaport, Carson Wentz will have surgery to repair his foot. That's according to Frank Reich, who's back with the team this week. Today's day one, and in his first time back on the sideline with the reporters, he's saying Wentz is out. He will have surgery, out up to 12 weeks. So they're potentially not getting him back until Thanksgiving. They could get him back earlier than that. But the surgery is going to remove a bone in his foot. So he's out for at least a couple of months, I would presume, based on this news, if not longer. And that opens the door for a big quarterback competition and potentially a big trade for the Colts as they try to gear up for a season right now that does not look as promising in the AFC South for them when you look at their quarterback situation now, with Jacob Eason getting the first-team reps. I know that they brought in a quarterback over the weekend, but still, when you look at Brett Hundley, Jacob Eason, and Sam Ehlinger, that's not Carson Wentz paired with Frank Reich. And the question now remains, are they going to trade, they're going to make a move, or do they go into the regular season with this trio?
It's a huge development in the NFL, huge development in the AFC South. Could it be a huge development with another team in the AFC South? What about Deshaun Watson? If you're quarterback needy right now like the Colts, we talked about it, Hutton, you brought up the possibility with the Packers before we knew that Aaron Rodgers was definitely coming back and that he was at least going to be happy or act happy for a year. I know it's within the division, but is that something you explore if you're the Colts?
They need to explore all options. Those options, too, Chad, would include Nick Foles, who is currently a third-string quarterback in the NFL. He's in Chicago right now. He knows Frank Reich, and he knows that Eagles offense. Would he do that in Indy, where he has the chance to be traded to a team where he could start? I would look into Foles. I would kick the tires on Gardner Minshew. They're not naming Trevor Lawrence the starter yet for whatever reason in Jacksonville. He's going to be the starter, and my guess is they'll move on from Gardner Minshew when that is declared. What would the asking price be for him? And then Marcus Mariota, the backup quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Colts were linked to him whenever he was a free agent prior to signing with Vegas. He wants to be on the West Coast. There's no doubt about that. But after a year and a half, does he want a starting opportunity? And if he does, would Indianapolis present that role for him? And are the Colts interested in trading for Mariota? That's the big thing, too. They're trading away a pick for Carson Wentz. Now, he has to play a certain amount of time for them to trade away a first-round pick, so this does impact the draft. He needs to play 75% of the Colts' offensive snaps this season for the Philadelphia Eagles to receive a first-round pick. If he doesn't, they're getting a second-round pick. But that impacts what the Colts would want to trade away in order to bring a quarterback in, because they value picks. They haven't traded many of them over the years.
And crazy enough, if I'm handicapping who I would prefer for Indianapolis, of those options you laid out, Marcus Mariota 1, Nick Foles 2, Gardner Minshew 3?
Yeah, probably.
And those are the best of some bad options, but if I'm looking at someone who could possibly come in and get the job done for whatever period of time, Thanksgiving, may be the date for Carson Wentz to come back, I think I'm looking heavy at Marcus Mariota. And
you also have to factor in, too, Wentz is coming back. They've invested in him. So knowing that he's back, who do you want starting to push you and get you in contention to either get to the postseason this year or playoff contention this year, again with the extra game, or to set you up for next year with a healthy Carson Wentz where you're not hamstrung on a number one quarterback? That's where Deshaun Watson doesn't make sense for me, because they've invested in Wentz and they know Wentz is the guy. So you're not going to take on a $100 million contract and uncertainty moving forward with Deshaun Watson, albeit he's the best option available of the options that we're listing. So Shake up at the quarterback spot in the NFL to begin, and not great news at all for the Indianapolis Colts. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified every time Outkick 360 goes live. We are live weekdays, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, right here across the Outkick network. And while you're at it, like this video and let us know what you think in the comments below.